What's up, Air Force? Let's go get my first retwist, period. Cause what? Yeah, I've been in here dozing off so bad it ain't even funny. Like, I just woke up. I literally had to record, taking myself to stop dozing off. Like, what the heck? And just like that, we're done, y'all. I just did the twin barrel look. I got it connected in the back because I was tired of doing them buns every day. Like, bruh, I just really wanted a quick get up and go type of vibe. That's what it's giving. And the fresh face, fresh retwist look is gonna give every single time. Stop playing. It just overall gives like clean. Like, I don't know. But yeah, the retwist is done. I was in there falling asleep, so I didn't get to get no other footage, so this probably won't be a full vlog. Maybe this will go in either like a Loc Journey vlog or maybe like a Loc Journey update type of thing. I don't know, we'll figure it out, but I'm documenting the process. And as you can tell, she's already growing, so hopefully by next month we'll be right we'll be right here. I don't know, hopefully. Let's see, because I feel like the first time it was like half of this, but I don't remember. We'll see. I could post some comparisons on the side, but I'm really just like, I want to be able to get the style that I want to get for family vacation. That's really the only thing that I'm thinking about for real. But other than that, loving the journey. It's been chill for real. No complaints. I'm just loving the natural me, honestly. Like, it gives. She gives. God is his big one. Okay? With all of us, really. But, you know, I can only speak for myself because I'm myself. But, you know, I'm just playing. But, yeah, y'all. That's it for today. I'm going to try to give y'all a full, like, 360 type of situation. And don't jump, because I got my little BDBs in the back or whatever, but we gonna fix that later. But yeah, I will see y'all next time. Y'all, it has been such a short but long 4 weeks. And your girl is 5 ready to get this retwist. Like, what? I couldn't even wait till I got home. When I tell you, I've been over here taking these barrels out. I got one side out. I was trying to see if I have a ponytail yet, because I was thinking, I was like, because with this retwist my barrels had came undone a little bit. We made it though. I had to make it stretch, I had to make it work. But I was just thinking, like, if I ever got barrels again at this length, would I be able to like take them out and just throw them in like a little, I guess, ponytail or whatever, like 2 little puffs or whatever, which is given that it could. I gotta wait till I get home to see though, because if the ponytail holder was tight, I feel like it would look too small. But if it was like loose, I feel like it would be kind of cute maybe. Or I would probably just do like 2 little buns. I feel like that would probably be cute. But yeah, I just wanted to come and show y'all me taking out my barrels while I'm driving, because I just thought that was kind of hilarious. But I have a couple options for the retwist for the style I want to get when I get my retwist, but also at the same time I don't know if they're gonna work. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But yeah, y'all, I'm trying to wait till I get to another stopping point so I can turn around and show y'all one barrel in and one barrel out. before I go to town with taking these barrels out, because they getting took out before I get to the crib. That's one way to multitask in traffic, honey. Let me see if I can finesse it while I'm driving. Don't do this at home, kids. Y'all can see that? Hold on. LOL. Y'all see that peanut residue in my teeth? Crazy. Y'all can see that? Y'all seen that? I hope y'all can, because I know the lighting is kind of crazy right now. But I'm sorry. I just feel kind of goofy right now. My apologies, my apologies. I'm finna stop. Un segundo. Because your girl really bilingual. Let's talk about it. Let's see. Y'all wanna know? Y'all wanna know? Like, okay. This is the side that's still in. Barely, but still in. This is the side that I took out. I hope y'all seen that, because if you didn't, then I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it again. Okay, hold on. Alright, cool. So I'm recording these clips, multiple clips, because I feel like they wasn't long enough to just post like one update at a time. So I'm thinking this gonna be like maybe like a 6-month update. Either 3 months, well no, because I think by 3 months, I don't feel like by 3 months there'll be enough progress to tell. So I think I'm gonna just do like a compilation of all of the videos that I've taken since getting my locks, and just put it all in one 6-month lock update, and just make it just one whole video. But yeah, that's it for this segment. I'm gonna continue taking this barrel out, and if I try the 2-bun thing later, I'll just come show y'all that briefly. But yeah, we are approaching retwist number 2 tomorrow. So excited. So I will see y'all after the retwist, period. Okay, y'all, so we tried something new today. Okay. We still got some barrel action going on, but I had to let these little pieces go, not by force or nothing crazy, but because they was looking a little rough, my last retwist. So I was like, you know what, let's just put them up, and then I feel like that'll help them lock quicker, because it just felt like they wasn't locking for real, and I was like twisting them and stuff every day. I just put them with the rest. I'm sorry, I'm chewing gum. I hope I'm not smacking. Okay, so we did like a little, I guess you could say like a little half up, half down situation. Like the 2 barrels on top, the back out. Dang, with my background being black, I feel like you can't really see it for real. I don't know. I'm gonna take some pictures and stuff. What y'all think? Is it giving? What is it giving? I just didn't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. So yeah, this is what it's giving for this time. I asked about my vacay hair. She said potentially it could be doable. So let's just hope that I'm able to get my style. I'll show y'all a picture of the little updo that I want to get. and then, you know, by the next retwist I'll show y'all what I asked for versus what I got, and period. So yeah, this is our results for today. You already know the barrel's gonna barrel, but I'm gonna have to go and examine the rest because I didn't really get to see the back for real. I just seen, like, you know, from the side, like my little hang time or whatever. Now I be trying to get some little hang time. Okay, period. No, I'm just playing, but yeah, I'll see y'all in the next clip. Bye. Halfway through the retwist, y'all. We're doing an updo this time. What is up, Air Force? So I have been waiting on recording this video. Like, I was just too excited to record this video because I'm so excited to see my progress. Even though I've made so much progress already, I'm just excited for the rest of my journey because I have so much more progress to make. But here we are at the almost, basically, essentially the 6-month mark of my loc journey. I'm super excited. I just got my retwist, how many days ago? Was it yesterday? I think it was on the 10th. It was on a Saturday. Yeah, today's Sunday. It was yesterday. I got it done yesterday. This is how we're looking today. They're so much more thicker and fuller. It grew so fast, first of all, which I already knew was gonna happen, but it's just crazy to see because it's like you really slick don't notice while it's on your head. Like, you notice, but you don't notice at the same time. It's like when you see what your starting point and then you see where you are at the present moment, you be like, oh my gosh, that's like so much growth. But when you're looking at it every day, you be feeling like, dang, like, when am I gonna see some more length and whatever. But yes, so here we are at the almost 6-month mark. It'll be officially 6 months on August 28th. It's currently August 11th, so very close, like a couple weeks away. But I did want to come and talk to y'all a little bit about the details of my loc journey, but also my testimony with my hair. I'll start with the little details about my locs. Y'all drop some comments asking me questions, anything that I don't cover in regard to my loc journey that y'all would like to know. Just comment down below and I'll try to film a separate video answering your questions. But I'll start with when I first locked. So I locked on February 28th of 2024, so 6 months ago. I started with coils. I do not know what my loc count is. Maybe I'll count one day. Maybe I'll ask my loctician if she'll count, but I don't as of yet know my loc count. This journey has been it's been great to me. I've heard a lot of like mixed reviews, but overall, when you meet people who have locs, they say either it's the best decision they ever made or they don't really have that many bad things to say, but there are some things out there that could potentially deter you from getting locs, and it makes you kind of apprehensive to just make the commitment. I know a lot of people have that commitment issue, but when I tell y'all, it's so versatile. Like, my first month loc, I was able to still wear my wigs. I only put my wig back on one time, y'all. Like, ever since then, I just been wearing them out. Like, I didn't really too much. I mean, I had an ugly phase per se. Like, that's something that's inevitable. You can't avoid having an ugly phase per se. But me personally, what I was fearful of in terms of having an ugly phase, I didn't experience that. Like, my Loc journey has been beautiful for me. I've enjoyed just the freedom, really the low maintenance aspect and the get up and go aspect, because maintaining like a weave, even though those things are supposed to make it a little bit more convenient so you're not having to do your hair, sometimes you still end up having to do your hair, especially with wigs, but it's a little bit less maintenance with braids. But I'll compare, my Loc journey is a little bit more similar to braids than having a wig, because just getting up and having to worry about how much time it take you to get ready on top of it, factoring the hair part into it, it's just like my Loc journey has freed me from them shackles, child. So that's also been a plus. I've been loving that. I've been loving trying different styles, and the biggest thing for me with my Loc journey is it's made me love my hair. Like, and this is where we kind of get into the testimony part, because I never used to like my hair. Like, I used to hate my hair. Like, it's so sad to say, but I just felt like I just didn't really care for my texture, and I felt like if it was longer, then I would like it more and it would be more manageable. But I couldn't get with like the short look, and then also on top of it being short, the texture, I just like hated the texture. And it was just like, I tried to like it, I tried the natural thing, and it was just like, I always ended up going back to weave. And I remember I ran across a video that was talking about hair dysmorphia, and I really feel like that's really a real thing. Like, that's really basically borderline what I had going on, because it was just like, in order for me to feel pretty, it was like my hair had to be done, no matter how really it was done, but I just needed my hair done to feel pretty. And I feel like what my locks did for me is help me to accept my natural beauty and just love me for me, especially the way that God created me. When I started my locks, I felt like the Lord was calling me to stop wearing weave, because I just kind of felt the conviction of not really embracing or loving who God created me to be. No matter if I felt like if my hair could have just been a little bit different in terms of texture, or if it could have been longer, or whatever, shoulda, coulda, woulda, things that you can't really change, you know what I mean? Like, God didn't make a mistake when he created me, and that includes my hair. Like, that doesn't exclude your hair. He created you, all of you, in your entirety. So the way that he made you was the way that he made you, whether you agree with it or not. And I kind of just got to a place where it was like, okay, even with the protective styling that I was doing, I couldn't figure out what it was about my hair, if it was like a medicine thing. Like, because if many people don't know, if you know me personally, then you know that I have this condition called, which I don't really refer to it as this much because it's the technical term, but I have a condition called dermatographism, which I have to, ever since I was young, since I could remember, maybe around 6, 7, 8 years old, I've had to take medication every day. It's not nothing like too crazy. It's just an over-the-counter medication. It's just Zyrtec allergy medicine, but it's because if I don't take it, I'll literally like itch for no reason. It's like I'm allergic to existing, essentially. And so we didn't know if it was related to me taking like medication every day, or if it was just like, me personally, I feel like it has something to do with some type of trauma with my hair because of all the protective styling that I was doing. It was just like, sometimes I would see tremendous growth, and then I would get back to doing the weaves and everything like that, and then randomly it would just start breaking off in places, and it would just be a constant repetitive cycle. And it would just be like, I just got to a point where I was sick and tired of going through that, especially after feeling like I made so much progress with like growing my hair, just to lose all that and have to start back from square one because I couldn't figure out what was causing it. And with the wigs and stuff, when I would wear like wig caps and stuff, I would notice when I took the wig caps off, you could see like the indent in this area in my hairline, and I feel like that was causing my edges to thin out and stuff like that. And you have to take breaks and stuff in between these things. Like, I don't know how other people be going like months and months and months and months and months at a time without taking breaks, but also without, because I've seen a lot of people who they wouldn't even take breaks in between their cornrows. Like, they would let their cornrows grow out for like 2-3 months at a time. But I was told personally, and I guess it just depends on your genetics and your personal hair as well, but like, I was told for me and my hair, like I shouldn't go longer than like a month without getting my cornrows redone. So it was just like a lot of unnecessary maintenance. It was just like I was constantly running from embracing my natural hair, my natural beauty, and that's really sickening and crazy, because it's like, this is your hair on your head. Like, there's nothing you can do about it, you know what I mean? So I just had to come to a place where I just accepted me for me and the way that God created me, and he just really convicted me and put that on my heart to stop being so reliant and dependent on weed, because honestly it was probably an idol for me, if I'm just keep it 100% real. And it played a major role in a lot of aspects of my life, depended on how I was gonna wear my hair or style my hair. So Locs has definitely freed me from that. Jesus first, of course, but me stumbling across Locs and going back and forth with that decision for probably about a year, when I finally decided to make that jump, I was like, okay, we're just gonna do it. Because initially what I was gonna do, I was gonna try to do extensions first and then let go of the extensions when it got to a point I was comfortable with. But I was like, you know what, we just gonna start with what I have and go from there. Because at first I wasn't sure if I was gonna have to cut my hair, and if I was gonna have to cut it, I felt like that would have made the journey harder for me to start, and I probably would have tried to wait to grow it out a little bit longer. But I didn't end up having to cut my hair at all, even though it was damaged and stuff like that. It's Locs, so like my loctician was explaining to me, like, that's not something that I would have had to do. I didn't have to cut them to start or anything like that. And so, yeah, my journey has been very easy. I have learned to love myself for me. I love my locks. I think they are maturing very beautifully. I can't wait to see what they look like when they're fully mature. But yeah, I just feel like having locks has made me feel a lot better in terms of not having to feel like my hair has to be done to feel pretty. It's done a lot for me in that aspect. And even though, you know, you have your days where you like, okay, I need a retwist, like, this ain't giving no more. But it's still, the journey is still beautiful, because once you see progress and you start to grow, you start experimenting with different hairstyles and just figuring out what works for you. So that part is fun. And just, you know, trying new styles and everything like that. Yeah, it's been nothing short of amazing for me personally. Just learning to love my hair and how to do my hair, and just let my hair just be, really truly, honestly, because I feel like that's when I see the most results, when I just let my hair do its thing and I'm not manipulating it too much. But I feel like this look definitely suits me very well as well. In terms of like my maintenance and things like that, I guess you would consider me to still be in the starter phase. So I still get my retwist every 4 to 6 weeks. There was only one time where I went a little bit longer than that, but I'm pretty consistent about making sure that I'm booking my appointments every 4 weeks, like on the day, based on the availability of my loctician, of course. But I'm pretty good about making sure that I'm on schedule in terms of that. Before I forget, if you are wondering in terms of like what to expect with shedding or thinning or anything of that nature, I have experienced some thinning of my locks. I'm not quite sure if it has to do with the health of my hair at the starting point of my loc journey, that could very well be a reason why I'm experiencing that. But also you have to just be mindful, like in between your retwists when you're doing your hair, like especially for the females, like if you're doing your edges and stuff like that, you have to make sure that you're not putting too much like stress on your locks or like combing them out. Just make sure that you're frequently twisting the roots and just making sure that you're keeping them twisted, especially in the back area. Those are taking, for me personally, are taking the longest to lock. My loctician told me the back takes the longest to lock, but I just make sure that I twist my perimeter and I twist my back pretty much daily, honestly. Just make sure that you're keeping them twisted so that you can keep them intact, so that they're not like untwisting and things like that. You can still do your edges and everything like that, but what I've noticed from the last time I went, because at the last retwist appointment that I had before this one, she was telling me that potentially based on if she sees results or not moving forward, potentially because I got medium sized locks, right? But the smaller your locks, the more risk, I guess, for thinning or things of that nature. So she was saying, worst case scenario, of course, if she didn't notice a difference, I would potentially probably end up having to thicken them up and combine them. Not by much or anything like that, but it basically was just dependent upon if we could kind of figure out what was causing it. So since that appointment leading up until now, what I did was start doing what I just told y'all, like making sure that I keep my perimeter and my back twisted and just doing low manipulation styles, because the only style that I've done in between my retwists, because I try to make sure, this is another thing too, in the beginning stages, you want to make sure you keep your styles in as long as possible. For my first couple of retwists, I kept my styles in the whole time, and then more recently I started taking them out like halfway leading up into my retwist. So before my last appointment, I had started doing the 2 buns, which I still do, but you want to make sure that your buns or your ponytails or whatever style you're doing, that it's not too tight, like I mentioned earlier. But also the way I was doing my edges, I was like combing my hair back and brushing it back and not making sure to retwist my roots. So just make sure that you're maintaining that. You can still do your edges like normal, but just make sure that you're not like combing them up, if that makes sense. Because I think it's hard for me to explain. I'm visualizing it in my mind, but like just imagine like you, because they're babies, they're new, they're not used to being locked. Like these are starter locks, so your hair is just getting used to being in this state, so they're learning. And I feel like that's probably kind of confusing to your hair, to be like, okay girl, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to lock or do you want me to stay loose? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't know the thought process of a hair follicle, but if I could imagine it, put my finger on it, put my little 2 cents in, that's what I would say. They'd probably be confused. It's like in my mind, what I'm envisioning is like the older part of your hair that's more mature than like your root. I imagine it being like thick, and then at your roots, the more like you comb it up, it's like thin at the roots and then thick and bulky at the ends, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would just say make sure that you're not doing that, but just making sure that you're keeping your roots twisted, and then just do your edges like around that. Don't try to like do it like it's like your loose natural hair, if that makes sense. At least not until they're mature, because I've seen people do their edges or brush their locks up in between retwists when they're mature. But in the starter phase, I wouldn't recommend doing anything like that, just because your hair is getting used to locking and it's not fully locked yet. It's still maturing, so you have to give it time to learn and know exactly what it's trying to do. But yes, so I did experience the thinning. My hair was already shedding profusely prior to me getting locks, but my loctician did say at my last appointment that she's noticed significantly less shedding, so that's a great thing. And she could tell that even by the retwist that it's gotten healthier and thicker, so we're still making progress. So basically, essentially, I just have to keep doing what I've been doing, which I also forgot to tell y'all as well. Like my daily routine with my locks, I have a rose water mist that I use. I'll insert pictures of the products that I use every day, but it's really so minimal. Like I have an edge control, and I spray my hair with rose water every day, and that's pretty much it. You can get whatever products that you want, try whatever out that you want to, find out what works for your hair. I just like to make sure that they're getting moisture every day, because it's still hair. You still have to make sure that you're taking care of them. So that's the main thing that I would say. Just make sure you're doing low manipulation styles and just not manipulating your hair overall too much in general, but also make sure that you're taking care of your hair still, even though it's locked, like it still needs care. And then make sure you're using minimal product to avoid buildup and things like that. And when it comes to oil, I really only use oil. It was once a week before, but I've been falling off of even doing that, so it might be once every couple weeks, every month. I pretty much just oil whenever, but I just don't do it frequently, because oil, that'll start to like build up. So I just, every day I spray my little rose water. You can also do water and leave-in conditioner as well. I do that sometimes too, but for the most part, I just need something quick and light for when I'm getting ready in the morning. So I'll just spray me some rose water, make sure it all gets saturated. I do me a little quick shake, and then that pretty much should be it after I do my edges. So yeah, in terms of cost, this is something that I definitely looked into all of this before I made my final decision to get locks, because I wanted to make sure I was going to be able to maintain it, because it's definitely, I feel like personally, a lot more cost efficient than going between wigs and braids all the time, because those are definitely a lot more expensive, I feel like, in the long run, especially being that it's a temporary style, you know what I mean? Like wigs, although they cost a lot up front and they do last a long time, I don't think it's worth, depending on how you wear them, right? Like I don't think it's worth, if you're gonna wear them every single day, I don't think it's worth the risk of damaging your natural hair or your natural edges. So yeah, just overall up front, the cost, if you're not in the place financially to put up that much money up front to get a decent, good quality wig, you're gonna have to spend a pretty penny. And just depending on where you are financially, you might not want to be doing that, especially if you like to switch up your look often. It's like, if you spending all that money up front for multiple different looks, me personally, I ain't got it like that. So, you know, my wigs was lasting me years at a time, but it just got to a point where it was time for me to get new everything, because they were all like, you know, faded, needed all different types of maintenance and everything like that. But also with braids, it's like the most wear you're gonna get out of braids is 2 months. And now it done went from, because I feel like back in the day, braids used to be like 150, 200, maybe 250 max. I feel like 250 is even pushing it, but like $100 to $200 was like what it was back in the day. But these days and times, they're charging you rent for braids that's gonna be in for 2 months, if that, because some people don't even wear their braids that long, you know what I mean? And to get it multiple times in a matter of months is just like ultimately crazy. Now what I will say is, for my loctician, so find whatever's the most cost efficient option for you. My loctician, her starter lock cost was, I want to say it was like $350. It was $3 something for the starter locks, and I got the medium size. So her pricing varies by sizing. I'll put her information in the description box below as well. If y'all are in the Atlanta area and y'all would like to book with her, I'll definitely leave her details down below. But yeah, her pricing ranges by size, and then for your first set of retwists. So she has a system to where if you're a new client, your pricing is different up to, I believe, 3 appointments, and then after that you can book under regular client. I think the price difference in that is probably about $50, and that depends on the different pricing. So like if you're a newer client, you pay a little bit more, and it varies by length. And then when you're a loyal client, you pay a little bit less, but it still varies by length. So with mine being shorter, the lowest price that you pay for a retwist is I think it's $150, and that includes your wash, retwist, and basic style. Now if you want intricate styles or any other different type of style, she has options and she has like the pricing listed, but I typically just do the wash, retwist, and basic style. But yeah, so that's the price that I pay for my locks. Okay, so pain, because I know a lot of people, especially if you're tender-headed and things like that, the retwists, they do have the potential to hurt like braids, similar to braids, not as bad as braids, but they can, if you're tender-headed like me, they can hurt a little bit. Just if you're tender-headed, you already pretty much know what to expect. It's definitely not worse than braids. So if you can tolerate getting braids, you can tolerate your retwist. It's not really that bad. The only thing I would say is just make sure when you get styles that your styles are not too tight, and that you're communicating with your loctician so that you can let them know if it's too tight or not. Because when I get a fresh retwist, sometimes it can cause headaches. So definitely just be aware of that. With it being all fresh and like with a tighter style, it can potentially cause that. And if you don't say anything, if it's too tight, I'm pretty sure it could cause like breakage, or just really anything could happen if your hair is too tight. So just make sure you say something in that regard. What I will tell y'all about barrel twists, when they say them barrels be itchy, they not lying. Like and like when I tell y'all, like I be patting my head like I have a weave. Like it's just the barrels, they be itching, and I really don't understand why they itch. For me personally, I feel like it would make sense if my hair was synthetic, but since my hair is not synthetic, I'm like, why is this itching my scalp like this? Like this just don't make no sense to me. But anyway, speaking of synthetic, this was another thing that I meant to mention as well. I feel like some of the hair trauma that I experienced probably potentially had to do with all the chemicals from the synthetic hair, because you know how a lot of stuff is coming out about all the chemicals and stuff that's in braiding hair and just weaving overall in general. Like that probably also had played a part in my hair being as damaged as it was, especially how frequently I was getting the styles over and over again. Like there was periods in time where I didn't even see my own natural hair. Not saying that I didn't take the wigs off ever, like obviously, well not obviously, because I know some people don't, but when I was wearing wigs, I took them off at least every night. But it was just very, 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 very rare for me to go outside in public with my natural hair. So yeah, there was like very long gaps in between that I would wear my natural hair. But if y'all have any questions, whether that's about my loc journey or whether that's about my experience with my loose natural hair and overcoming that hair dysmorphia or that whole thing dealing with my natural hair, if you have any questions regarding anything that I discussed in this video, please don't hesitate to comment down below. I would love to chat and give y'all more answers. Honestly, preferably, I would prefer preferably, I would love if y'all would leave a lot of comments so I could just make another video responding to all of them. But yeah, other than that, off the top of my head, these are the main things that I can think of, and I'm still trying to think of more stuff just so I can make sure that I'm hitting every point that I feel like is the most important or the most common questions that you would get pertaining to locks. But all in all, I will say 10 out of 10, highly recommend. I love my locks. I do not regret my decision at all. And when they say if you're considering getting your locks, just do it now, like this is your sign, I'm telling you, do it now. Because the longer that you wait, like whether you're waiting because you want to grow your hair out just so you can have more length with your starters, start where you are, because the time that it's gonna take for your hair to grow, your hair will already be locked. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, you're just prolonging the process, when the whole time, if you would just go ahead and lock it, by the time you get the desired length that you want, it'll already be locked, versus you getting that length and then you just have to get starters with that length, and then it's gonna shrink anyways because it's starters. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's a lot of things that go into it. But if you're considering getting locks, me personally, I would highly recommend it. I do not regret it at all. I absolutely love my locks. Best decision I ever made. Yeah, and there's nothing beats loving you for you at all. Like, it's a top tier feeling. And also, locks are so versatile. Like, you can do so many different things with locks. You can do so many different styles, especially this day and age. I feel like back in the day when you would see locks, you really wouldn't see much. Like, you would just see them either down or maybe like in a ponytail or something. But with the trends and everything like that, they're doing so many different styles with locks. I just feel like you can never go wrong with locks because they're so versatile. Me personally, one thing that was making me hesitant about the journey is because I was like, I like to switch my hair up too much, and it was like, if I committed to locks, then I would limit myself to what I could do. But that was a lie. Like, when I tell you, you could do so much, and then you can still even wear wigs. Me personally, I honestly don't know when the next time is that I would put a wig on. It probably would have something to do with maybe like an event or something like that, but I don't, in my mind, just right now, what I'm thinking, I don't feel like I have anything coming up to where I would need to get a wig for any specific type of look that I'm going for. Just off the top of my head, that could change in a matter of weeks, months, days, who knows, but I don't see myself necessarily investing in a wig anytime soon. But you can still definitely get wigs. You can still, I've seen people still braid over locks as well. I'm honestly not sure if I would ever get my locks braided. Me personally, I would just be satisfied with a good extended 2-strand twist, a good lock knot bob, a good boho situation. Like, I feel like I would be totally fine. Like, the stuff that I was worried about prior to getting locks, I'm like 0% worried about at this moment. Like, I'm just more excited about the styles that I can do with my locks than the styles that I potentially wasn't going to be able to do anymore when I got locks. Does that make sense? For real, I think I covered everything now. Yeah. I'll give y'all another 360 of my locks before we get up out of here. And yeah, these are my locks. I love them so much. And it's crazy too, because I kind of didn't know how I felt about this style when I first got it, but today, something about today, I feel like this style is eating. And a lot of the time too, I noticed that when I throw these glasses on, I don't know if y'all could tell, but I've been wearing these out. These dang near became a part of my face. I might get prescription lenses for these glasses. That's how much I love them. But anyway, I feel like me throwing these glasses on just elevate everything for me. So I don't know if the glasses is making me love the hair more. I don't know. But something about today, I feel like this is eating for sure. But anyways, I don't want to hold y'all up any longer. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love you guys so much. I will see you in my next video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share if you feel like it. Make sure y'all be blessed. Go do a good deed. If you have not given your life to Christ, I highly recommend 10 out of 10. surrender. It's time. I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's time to come out of lukewarmness. It's time to come out of the world. The Lord is calling you. Please answer the call and don't prolong it anymore, because you don't want to end up in a situation to where you're just constantly repeating the same cycle. If you're in a season where you feel like you tried everything and it just ain't working, the only answer is the Lord. If you haven't given your life to Christ, that is the only thing that is going to make your situation better. That is the only solution. I'm telling you, just don't prolong it any longer. Jesus loves you. I love you. Like I said, I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.